Hello class, this is our third lesson from the second chapter of Business Studies, Principles of Management. Earlier in the chapter we have discussed about management principles and also the features and importance of principles of management. Taking the chapter forward, let us start today's lesson. Now, before moving on to the next topic, we have to mention a name who is very important in the field of study of management, and the name is Henry Fayol. Okay. So let us know about his background and a little history about this renowned personality from the field of management. Henry Fayol was born in France on July 29th in the year 1841. He has a degree in mining engineering. In 1860 he completed this degree, and after completing his degree he started his career as an engineer in a coal mining company in France. So when he joined this company, the company was in a very poor condition. It was on the verge of bankruptcy, but because of his vision and his knowledge about management, Henry Fayol, he made many improvements and contribution in this mining company, so that in the year 1888 he became the managing director of the same company, and he retired from the company in the year 1918 from the same position as a managing director. So because of his immense contribution to the field of management, Henry Fayol is also known as Father of General Management. Remember this. The person known as Father of General Management is Henry Fayol. And all his important contributions and various principles formed by Henry Fayol have been published in the form of a book in the year 1949, and the name of the book is General and Industrial Management. It's a very important book in the study of management by Henry Fayol, General and Industrial Management. Let us also know something about his contributions. What contributions Henry Fayol has given to the field of management. It is Henry Fayol who has identified the main steps in the process of management, and these processes are considered now as the major functions of management, which we know as planning, organizing, directing and controlling. So these four major functions of management were identified by Henry Fayol, through various principles and observations that he made in the various workplaces. Also, Henry Fayol made a clear distinction between technical and managerial skill. He classified the various activities of manufacturing undertakings like technical work, commercial work, accounting work, financial work. So he classified the nature of the work and the skill that is required to handle the type of work that had been defined by him. Also, he identified the qualities which a manager should possess, like how should be his physical state, what should be his moral values, what education or qualification he should possess, what should be his knowledge, and what experience a manager should possess in order to become a successful manager. He also developed the concept of administration. And finally, the major contribution of Henry Fayol is that he developed 14 general principles of management, and these principles of management are guidelines for managers to perform managerial activities. So the 14 general principles of management is what we are going to study in the chapter next. So these general principles of management, also known as Fayol's principles of management, is what your syllabus has. So we have to know about these 14 general principles of management. So I now present to you the 14 principles of management developed by Henry Fayol, and these are known as Fayol's principles of management. As you can see here, the 14 principles of management, if we read them by their name, are division of work, authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interest to general interest, fair remuneration to all employees, centralization and decentralization, scalar chain, order, equity, stability of tenure of personnel, initiative, and esprit de corps. So these names, as you can see before you, are known as the Fayol's principles of management, or you say 14 principles of general management. So one by one we will be discussing about each of these principles, which is very interesting. Okay class, let us now start our discussion on Fayol's principles of management. As I told you, these are 14 principles of general management. So we are going to discuss each of these principles. And while discussing each of these principles, remember, these principles are known as general principles of management. So these are in the form of general guidelines that will help a manager in any kind of organization. Now, along with the explanation of each of these principles, we also will be discussing that what will be the advantage or the effects if such a principle is adopted by the management. If it is introduced in a management, what are the advantages or what good positive effect will it make in an organization? And if these principles are violated, or if they are ignoring these principles, what will be the ill effects of violating such principles? So as we discuss each principle, we'll focus on these points also. That is, what is the good effects if the principle is adopted, and what will be its impact if the principles are violated or ignored. So the first principle of Fayol is called division of work. Now, what is the meaning of this principle? As the you may have got the idea about the principle from its name itself. It is dividing the work. Now, as per this principle, Fayol suggested that the whole work should be divided into smaller tasks or units instead of assigning the whole work to one person. It's quite reasonable also. You cannot just make one person do all the tasks or all kind of work. A single person may not be specialized enough to handle all types of tasks. So the work should be divided into individuals and groups. Groups may be formed, or a single individual may be tasked a specific work as per his specialization. So one unit of work should be assigned to one person according to their capability, qualification, and experience of the person. So as the person experience and his capability and his qualification and his expertise, work can be assigned to him. So the total work of the organization should be divided into smaller units or into smaller tasks, and these tasks should be assigned to a group of persons, or it may be to one person at a time, so that it will help to achieve the organizational goals. So when division of work is applied, it will lead to perfection and specialization. Also, the efficiency level of the people in the organization will improve due to applying the division of work. It will result in specialization, and it will increase the output. At the same time, it will make the employees more efficient. So if the division of work is adopted, if this is introduced in a management, that is, the management considers that the whole work should be divided into smaller units, and those smaller units should be assigned to different persons or to a person as per his specialization or his experience or his knowledge about the work, then it will lead to specialization. The person who knows about that nature of work very well, he will be able to handle that work with craft and with skill. That will lead to specialization. It will also make them efficient and the output will be effective, and the tasks will become simpler to handle if it is divided into smaller fragments. But what if the principle is violated? If management ignore this principle and will not adopt division of work, then the ill effects or violation of this principle will lead to lack of specialization. People will never be able to specialize in their nature of work. They will be always busy, or they will be wasting most of their time in handling the multiple tasks that they are assigned without dividing the work in them. Also, the efficiency of the work will suffer. The output will not be as desired or as good or up to the mark. It will lead to waste of time and efforts, and because there will be lots of duplication of work, the same work will be done by one person, and the next person may also repeat the same work because there is no division of work. So it will lead to duplication of work and waste of time. Now moving on to the second principle of Fayol, which is authority and responsibility. Authority and responsibility.